the great Spotify pile-on, and 2 different freakouts. Welcome to the Unlimited Supply Podcast, your daily music business TLDR in your ear, powered by humans harnessing AI, and not the other way around yet. Unlimited Supply is brought to you by NoDisc, helping music, technology, and finance companies navigate the music industry. It's December 31st, 2024. I'm Lars Murray, and it's Tech Tuesday. But before we geek out, the great Spotify pile-on of 2024-2025 started over the past couple of days, sparked by Liz Pelly's Mood Machine, the book excerpted in The Atlantic that we talked about last week. You know, the one that outlines exactly how Spotify engages ghost artists and targeted playlisting to reduce their content costs, i.e., to steer people away from that expensive licensed music stuff. Over in the New Yorker, author Hua Hsu posted a review and lamented what he called the Spotify syndrome, and Ted Gioia in The Honest Broker weighed in, among others. The whole thing is starting to look like Spotify's biggest PR hit since the great Joe Rogan controversy, when association with the podcaster caused a lot of people to rethink their subscriptions. It's certainly not looking pretty for Spotify right now, but how much that matters remains to be seen. If you're a Spotify Power user, the switching costs of leaving Spotify are high. It took me 6 weeks to transfer my playlist to Amazon, and that's my primary service now. The other switching cost is based on the network effect. Leaving Spotify is a little bit like leaving Facebook, in that you know most of your friends are there if you want to share music. Finally, the fact that this is all happening when the industry is checked out for the year certainly isn't going to drive a lot of conversation where it counts. We'll see whether people keep talking about it starting next Monday when folks are back in their offices. And as we wrap up the year, Glenn Peebles over at Billboard did his final weekly piece on music industry stocks and the Billboard Global Music Index, which ended 2024 up 40%. Beating the Dow and the S&P 500 pretty handily. On the week, the majors, meaning Warner and UMG, were up and indies were generally down, including all the major K-pop companies. High-flying Spotify, which peaked just over $500 in early December and is now chilling in the $450 range, was down on the week, but Spotify did close the year up 143% overall. On the flip side, SiriusXM gets the booby prize, down 60% across the year. All right, let's do the tech. Along with the great Spotify pile-on of 2024-2025, we have the great AI freakout of 2024-2025. It continued, and that probably isn't a bad thing. Virginie Berger of Matchtune has been keeping her sharp eye on AI all year, and yesterday she published her AI music business forecast for 2025. AI is entering the implementation stage across multiple layers of the industry: ration, curator, ration, curate, ration, creation, attribution, and payments. Okay, you see what just happened there? I said curation 5 times. And full disclosure, I just did it again 5 times. What I meant to say was AI is entering the implementation stage across multiple layers of the industry: curation, creation, attribution, and payments. And the AI in my dictation program still doesn't recognize the word curation. But I digress. Virginie is feeling a lot of urgency over what's happening in AI and music, and given how fast AI has been moving over the past year, that urgency is very much warranted. She warns that the industry has about 12 months to figure out things like training data attribution before everything spins out of control. I tend to think that humans have a bit more cultural connection to actual flesh and blood artists than AI will be able to completely overcome, in the same way that there's a very short tail on viral hits, or that NFT artificial bands don't work. We'll talk more about that in a second. Folks will still grab on to Taylor Swift's and Travis Scott's and Chappell Roan's and Zach Bryan's, even if Spotify stays crowded with AI-recommended and created music. However, AI-generated music will create a more crowded environment for developing artists. Virginie's forecast covers too much ground, and it's way too thoughtful for me to completely summarize here. I highly recommend you to have a read of her post over at Forbes to stay AI literate. Of course, everybody's big freakout a couple of years ago was about NFTs and crypto. What could go wrong? Of course, the big difference between NFTs and AI is that you have to actively seek out an NFT, whereas AI is just fed to you. That's why NFTs have proven to be kind of a blip, even while superfan monetization is the big buzzword of the day, or maybe the big freakout of the day. Over at Digital Music News, Dylan Smith reported Friday that the highest profile NFT project to have come out of a major label, Kingship, had quietly sunsetted all of its presences, or as we might say of a human, had died. Kingship, of course, was the Bathing Ape Universal Music Group collaboration that flew a little too close to Gorillaz in concept and a little too far away from Gorillaz musically to generate an audience. If you bought a Kingship token, whoops. If you relied on Kingship creating content into the future, whoops. If you championed Kingship as the future of the music industry, whoops. The fact that Kingship died, or was died, without ever really living at the core should be somewhat reassuring to folks like Virginie, who are worried that AI will replace artists at scale. Ultimately, even if you're a cartoon band, you still need to have some real genius like Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett pulling the strings. And that's a wrap for 2024. We're off tomorrow for the holiday, and we'll be doing another Viral Wednesday on Thursday this week. Touring Thursday will be back next week. And so thanks to all of our listeners and especially to our sponsors for a great year. We've got some amazing plans for 2025. Support for the Unlimited Supply podcast is provided by RoyFi, which offers the lowest rates and fairest terms on advances in the industry. If you're interested in talking to RoyFi about how you can use it to help your artists grow, hit me directly at lars@nodisc.com. And by Hangout.fm. Hangout by Turntable Labs, Inc. is a new social listening platform where users connect, discover new music, and play over 100 million songs with their friends and family. Hangout.fm is a perfect way to share a soundtrack for a New Year's party. Check it out at hangout.fm. If you want to get Unlimited Supply in your ear daily, follow us wherever you get your podcasts. If you like what you hear, drop us a rating and or a review, and tell a friend or three, preferably 5 times, because every development in digital music must be repeated 5 times to sink in. Links to what we discussed on the show are in the show notes, and you can visit unlimitedsupplypod.com or email me at lars@nodisc.com to tell us what you think about the show, to feed us info, to feed us lunch, to challenge us on our dubious assertions, to levy retorts, and to tell us what we're missing out on. I'm Lars Murray, and remember, in this business, no conflict usually means no interest.